Welcome to Global Risk Community Chat. Today our guest is Predrag Gaikj. I'm very happy to have you today here, Predrag. Welcome.
Mm. Hi, Jay, and thank you for inviting me for this podcast. I'm
Yes,
pleased
of
to be
course.
here.
Yes, I'm very happy that you joined us today as well. So before we get into our topic, can you briefly introduce yourself to our audience?
My name is Predrag. I am currently working as Chief Information Security Officer in a fintech company from Sweden called Qliro AB. I've been here more than 5 years and different roles in the security team. I'm currently leading the security team as CISA. Before that, I have 13 years of experience working in a bank, first in IT operations and then switching to information security as information security manager.
Sounds good. Sounds quite diverse as well with banks and startups and so on. So what would you like to share with us today as a topic?
Well, I think something that I experienced on my own, switching from a bank to a startup company, is different ways of approaching and implementing information security in the company and different ways of doing the awareness in the company and bringing the culture up. So yeah, I think that would be interesting to discuss.
Is that sounds very interesting. Then let's jump into it. So, what are some key things or some observations you have had regarding this?
Well, something that I experienced moving from a banking to a startup company is like different companies have different company culture, which affect the way people are approach the information security program as well. So, for instance, when I was working in a bank, it's more like process-oriented company. It's people that are coming into a bank, getting hired, are firstly introduced. You need to follow rules and you need to follow processes and you need to follow everything that is in place, and that kind of makes easier to talk about information security and implement information security in that kind of organization, because a lot of the stuff that we are doing are starting from policies and instruction and creating processes and implementing those processes into everyday life. When I moved to a startup company, I experienced different culture there. First thing that you notice there is things like freedom and curiosity, and people like to explore and people like to do fun stuff. So me coming into that with my process-oriented approach or ISO-oriented approach was kind of new experience there. So I early, even in the first couple of months, I realized that, okay, I need to reshape. It's not the knowledge that I have for information security, but it's the way I talk about information security with these people in my company. And it's the way I make them think about information security and how do I make this fun for them. So since then, me and my colleagues from the team like really went out of the box and different ways of explaining security to people. The things that make more success were like gamification, making people compete, catch the flag games, and so on, letting them see what actually is the other side and how vulnerable we can be. Different type of workshop, different type of trainings, different type of sharing documentation, creating our own videos, creating our own audio clips, creating some kind of animation. So I think in the past 5 years, me and my colleagues tried everything we can think how to make this fun for people and how to make people think about security. And it's cool. It's fun for us, and I think now it became fun for everybody. I can see the difference. I see people reaching out to us when they are having new projects or starting developing new stuff or engaging in new relationship with third parties. One of the first things they do is reach out to our team and ask us, okay, guys, we have some new ideas and we want to do something new. So let's think about security and privacy and we need your help. So that's really nice to see that. That's the satisfaction we have now.
Mm, that actually sounds quite fun as well. And I see that, of course, there's then probably more involvement, more engagement, overall more awareness with this kind of gamification or other methods, which is quite nice, then from what I understand. So, if I were to ask another question, and if you were to give some, takeaway points to maybe our audience that is listening, what would be some takeaway points for them that they can start implementing? Because obviously, maybe they can also think about, of course, this kind of methods to create some awareness, but what would be more concise things you can say about?
Well, if I can highlight a few of them, I think the first one is be aware that people don't wake up every morning and thinking, okay, I'm going to go to work and do something about information security, unless you're information security company. So you need to be aware that this is something extra to their everyday work, and it's not always fun for them to do it. So you always have to have that approach. Be partner with them, help them, explain things to them, work with them on things. You are not just the one facilitating another ticket in their backlog. You need to help them and work with them to accomplish your goals. Be patient is something that I will highlight. Information security takes time to grow and to mature in a company. So give it a time, try different approaches, and be flexible. If something is not working, then try another approach and talk to people a lot. If you see that they are not reacting, then change your way you're approaching them. So that will be the top 3 highlights from me, I would say.
Sounds like a lot of involvement, a lot of flexibility, and thinking
Yes,
out of the
yes,
box. Sounds
yes.
good. Then I have one more question, and that would be, uh, you are more on the security end of things, but how is your observation of risk community in general? How do you observe risk community or, maybe security community as well?
Well, I think people are talking more now, and that's something I've been to a couple of events lately, conferences, when this is one of the topics we are discussing when it comes to information security or risk communities or privacy. Like, we should talk more and share more. Usually, people consider security and the stuff that we are doing internally kind of company secret, and we are not sharing the good stuff and the bad stuff that we are doing. And on the other side, people on the other side of security and risk, the one that are attacking us, they share everything, when someone does something successfully, he put it on the dark web and everybody can see it and repeat it. So they are much more friendly and much more sharing than us. So I think we should talk more, we should exchange ideas more, we should exchange the bad things that we did so people learn our bad experience, and I think that will help us all.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that as well. I agree. I think, the communities should be there, or like there should be communities to, share these knowledge, these examples, experiences. Since we have a little bit more time remaining, do you have anything else you would like to add?
No, I think I covered everything. That's my experience, and I think the security rules and standards and governance are same, and we all try to implement the same thing. But depending on the company, of the industry that we are working, of the internal culture, of the goals we are trying to achieving, of the size of the company, the approach, how do we achieve what we want in information security is different. So we should always be flexible and learn and see how do we touch all the endpoints in our company. That will be my learning from my experience, and that will be my message that I can share.
Thank you so much for sharing that as well. And then with that note, I think that's a good point to end then. So thank you so much once again for joining us today, sharing your experience, your knowledge, your insights, and yeah, being part of our, podcast.
Thanks, AJ, again for inviting me, and I really enjoyed the discussion.
Likewise, have a great day.
Thank you.